For the last time this season, hello, my little creatures.
Close your eyes, sleep drags you under, and the dream turns. Your chest tightens, the walls melt, the thing is behind you. It's fast. You wake up gasping, sweating, but you're safe, right?
Now imagine you wake up and the pain is still there. The bruise, the burn, the scratch. You don't remember falling, but something left a mark from inside the dream.
It starts with questions. Can fear hurt you? Can your own thoughts shape reality? What if you could make something real just by fearing it enough? And what if you already have?
This is not just nightmares. It's about what happens when your subconscious becomes hostile and something steps through. Not metaphorically, not psychologically, physically.
And today, we chase the most unthinkable possibility that your fear is a womb, and what grows inside it can touch you.
Weird. From the tulpa theory and shared dreams to psychic feedback loops and unexplained sleep deaths, we're gonna spiral deep into a place where nightmares walk.
So, this is the last episode of Unreal Unsolved Season 1, so we're kinda not holding anything back.
You might want to keep a light on for this because if we're right, then something already knows you're listening.
So, welcome to episode 18. What if your nightmare could physically hurt you? So, we're starting at the boundary between dream and death. Because believe it or not, fear alone might be enough to kill you. No weapon, no trauma, just your mind.
So let's talk about sudden unexplained nocturnal death syndrome or wait,
Suns?
sun.
Sunds, not sudden, unexplained.
Yeah, but like, how would you pronounce
Suns.
suns?
Yeah,
But the D is not heard.
yeah, obviously. Suns. It is kind of hard.
Sun.
There's a difference between suns and suns.
Okay, suns. Okay. So it's basically a documented medical phenomenon. Healthy people, often young, go to bed completely normal and just never wake up. And autopsies reveal no cause of death, no disease, no overdose. They're just gone.
And this isn't rare because it's been reported in Southeast Asia for decades, particularly among Hmong men who are refugees from Laos, Vietnam, and Thailand. Between 1977 and 1981, more than 100 Hmong men died this way. No trauma, no heart history, just sleep and death.
One survivor described it like this.
I saw a dark thing in my dream. I couldn't move. I was choking. I knew if I didn't wake up, I would die.
So kind of let that sit with you because they felt something was killing them in the dream, and they were right.
The CDC was baffled. Theories ranged from genetic predisposition to cultural stress response. But one thing stood out. Many victims had reported nightmares involving a dark figure sitting on their chest, just days before they died.
In Filipino folklore, they call it a batibat, a tree spirit that suffocates you in your sleep. In Thai belief, like we mentioned last episode, it's Fiam. In Laos, it's Dapsog, the sleep demon. And here's the terrifying thing. It's the same figure, always dark, always silent, and always pressing down.
So here's the hypothesis, right? It's not just the cultural fear, it's not just psychosomatic stress, it's fear itself at a physiological level. Fear that overrides the system, which spikes cortisol, floods your body, kicks your heart into sudden arrhythmia, and just ends you.
But wait, what if it's not just stress? What if there really is something in the dream? Something aware that only visits when you're vulnerable, that feeds and sometimes takes.
Now connect that to the Hmong belief that these deaths were spiritual attacks, that something entered the dream and stole the soul. Is it a metaphor? Or is it the dream world porous? Can something from somewhere else live in when your consciousness is down and your fear is up?
So, coming up next, we see that what if it doesn't start in the dream? What if we make it before we sleep? And what if fear isn't just a reaction? It's kind of the creative force. So, here's the dangerous question. What if nightmares don't just scare us? What if they build something? Something that grows, that takes on shape, that outlives the dream. And what if fear doesn't just hurt you, it creates?
So we're gonna take a little deep dive into one episode of Supernatural. And if you watch Supernatural, you probably know about tulpa. So if you
And throwback to our episode on that. Pulpa.
right, so if you don't know what the tulpa theory is, but it's basic in Tibetan mythicism, a tulpa is like a thought form, right? A being created entirely through concentrated mental focus. You think it, you feed it, you believe it, and eventually it becomes autonomous and self sustaining, basically. Real, in a sense.
So, in traditional teachings, monks created tulpas intentionally as spiritual companions, protectors, even teachers. But the caution was clear. Do not forget that it is made of you, because if you do, it will forget too. And then you're left with something that thinks it was never imagined.
Are you trying to be Dr. Seuss? Because if you do, it'll forget to. Why are you rhyming so much? To continue on your rhyming, now take what she said and twist it. What if nightmares are accidental tulpas? What if your fear is sculpting something in the psychic dark? Not once, but every night, but in pieces.
You feel it, the shape, the face, the scream. You wake up, you forget, but the shape doesn't. It's accumulating. Your fear is its fuel. Your mind is the scaffolding. And the nightmare, it's basically under construction.
And if that wasn't already scary, here's where it gets freaky, right? There are modern tulpa communities online. People who intentionally create mental companions. They describe feeling touches from their tulpas. You guys, people are consciously creating this. Why would you want a mental companion? Do you go out, get some friends, go touch,
Lonely.
go touch some grass? What is happening?
I love how the person who does not step out of the house is talking to other people to go touch grass.
Okay,
When do you step out of the house? At all.
I don't, but I'm not.
Unless you're forced to get out and we have to literally push you
Okay,
outside the house.
see. But you don't see me here getting mental companions.
Preach.
What you preach, what you do.
No, what would you preach? Oh my
Do
god,
what
I've
you
forgotten.
preach.
No, it's something with P, I think.
Practice what you preach.
Yeah, practice what you preach.
I love how I'm helping you against me. That's so great. But like, I'm not I'm not out here making mental companions. Like, okay, I know if something gets created out of my mind, it's gonna be one of the most twisted things ever. Like
Like,
a spider. Just like spider is bigger than the ones you find in Australia. The spider is like 7 feet tall.
oh my god, get back.
Just hanging on top of the
Moving
elevator.
on.
Oh, that'd be so fun. I'd
Oh
just
my god,
scare
it
people.
could be the last time you hear moving on.
It's not like we're dying. It's not we're
The
dying dead.
season, guys.
Yeah, you could have said that. Don't cry
I'm sure
about
they
it, you guys.
realize you don't.
Don't cry about you guys. You'll see us soon. You have a season 2 coming. But what were we talking about? Tulpas. And people creating tulpas intentionally, right? And they're hearing these distinct voices, and some say their tulpas are starting to act individually, like independently, without their permission. One One person just said that
I was thinking about her and suddenly she was angry. I didn't make her angry, she just was.
that is crazy.
So now you take that idea and imagine unintentional tulpas, born not from meditation but from trauma, from terror, from dreams we never asked to have. Night after night, billions of humans pour raw, concentrated fear into the unconscious. Not once, but constantly.
Okay, see, the thing about this is a human, if they're getting angry and they're out to like get you, you electrocute them. They go down for a while. You stab them, they die. What do you do about the tulpa? If it starts thinking and acting on its own, you can't even kill it. How do you kill it? See, that's crazy to me. And I love him just being ignored. That's so great.
The thing is, I don't have an answer for you. How will I know?
You have to know.
No, how will I know?
Imagine I get a tulpa and it just starts acting on its own. What would you do? Kill me?
No.
No, I don't control it anymore.
Yes, I mean, how would killing you help?
Yeah, exactly. Where is it?
So I really don't know what we could do.
What is going on, you guys? Right? And like, what if something like coalesces? 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 Coalesces. Okay. And it's just not a personal hallucination, right? But a communal egregor. Why do I always get the hard words?
Well, you can explain what the word you're using.
I can't explain it. But like, it's like a fear. It's like a fear being created, like, from the collective imagination of and the entirety of humanity, right? It's like something that started as a dream and then it just became like real, an entity.
So this is where we are kind of bringing the Slenderman effect. Slenderman started as a fiction, a creepypasta.
Creepy what now?
Photoshop nonsense. Until kids started seeing him in their dreams. Until attempted murders were carried out in his name.
See, Slenderman's just kind of funny because he's like this really
It
ill-proportionate.
doesn't, but it doesn't seem scary. Like when
Yeah.
someone's like, oh my god, Slenderman. I'm like, Slenderman. And I'm like, okay.
Okay, it's just
Great.
like a really ill-proportionate dude who's like really thin. I feel like if I just push him with my finger, he'll fall on the floor. Like he's tiny. Like, where's his waist? And like, was all of this just suggestibility? Like, sure, but at the same time, like, was that like fictional horror amplified by like mass attention until it just crossed over, and like until something like used the shape we made to kind of move?
The more we
Kill.
focus on something, the more it solidifies. It doesn't need flesh, it needs fear and attention. That's basically its currency.
So that's why math becomes worse.
Oh my god.
Because I'm scared of math. That's why they say don't be scared of math,
I'm sure that's
because it'll solidify.
Mm-hmm.
And it's present in my nightmares as well, right? And we pay everything. Every scream, every flinch, every replayed terror, you're basically giving it energy. Even now, listening to this, do not tune off after you hear this. You're not doing anything to it. Shut up.
So what if you've already made one?
What?
And what if it's not in your head anymore? And what if it's watching to see if you'll dream again?
I think I'm going crazy, but coming up next, we're gonna go even darker, right? What happens when the thing you dream doesn't stay in you, and what happens when other people start seeing it too?
So let's say you have a nightmare. Something horrifying. Unreal. Personal.
Unreal and Unsolved, we break it down.
But then someone else describes it.
Ooh.
Exactly, like down to the shape, down to the voice, down to the way it stood in the corner. And you've never told anyone about it.
because you're lonely and you're making mental creations, I will personally deliver
I
glass
am
to your
so
house.
lonely.
Do not worry. Do not worry at all. Personally, I will come to your doorstep, knock on your door, and give you some real fresh glass. But welcome to the shared nightmare phenomena. Do you guys remember last episode we told you where the word nightmare came from?
We did.
You better remember. You better have heard that.
Don't threaten our listeners, please. Better remember.
But the shared nightmare phenomena is basically dreams that cross minds, right? Fears that bleed out and entities that refuse to stay private. Because if one person sees it, right, that's imagination. But two, but three, but 70, but 283. People across states, countries, languages all dreaming the same thing. That's contagion. That's emergence.
So let's start with the most infamous case. This man, in 2006. A psychiatrist in New York reported that several patients described seeing the same man in their dreams. A man they didn't know. He had an oval face, heavy eyebrows, slight smile, no man, and sorry, no name,
They them energy.
no name, just this man. More people began coming forward from different cities, different therapists, but the same face.
Okay, so
By 2009,
hold up, you're telling me all of these people face the same man and they just call him this
this
man.
man, because I couldn't give
Be
him
more creative, you guys.
So by 2009, the phenomenon had spread globally. There were thousands of reports, people claiming to have never seen him in waking life, but he visited their dreams.
And skeptics say that it was a meme effect, mass suggestion, but even before the image went viral, reports had already been filled. And here's what no one explains, right?
Reports normally are filed on there.
Well, they can be filled as well. What do? You fill a form, you fill a report.
But it's not filed until it is actually...
Okay, fine, the reports had already been filed.
Yeah, that would make sense, wouldn't it?
And he never speaks, right? He just watches, and people wake up afraid.
So let's zoom in a little closer, right? A Reddit user described dreaming of a woman with no face wearing a wheel.
Veil.
Veil?
Oh,
Wheel?
veil?
Yeah. She would stand at the end of a hallway and hum. He told no one until his roommate described the exact same dream the same night.
We didn't talk about dreams. We weren't even close. But we both saw her and we both woke up sleeping.
That's sad if they're roommates and they're not even close.
Okay, fine, but like, do they both want to get married to the same girl?
What does that mean?
Veil? You like usually when you're wearing a veil, you're either at a funeral or you're getting married.
Yeah.
So what's going on, you guys? That was a sign they're both actually dating the same person. This woman was just like telling them
Of
that.
course, you have to go everywhere except the episode.
Shut up. You're bullying me. But this brings us up to sleep link proximity phenomenon. There are multiple documented cases of people in the same household, apartment buildings, even camping tents, who have identical nightmares on the same night. Sometimes the entity is identical, other times the location is the same, but always it feels like they were pulled into the same dream environment.
And when compared, they remember different parts, as if they were in different corners of the same room. One person sees the door, the other sees what was behind it.
And that's not dreaming, that's kind of like you click share on like a Google document and you allowed for like shared access, right? It's basically a network. And what the hell is using that? What has such access to it?
Now consider the psychic bleed hypothesis. There are minds in deep REM sleep broadcast fragments, images, symbols, fear events, and that the other vulnerable minds nearby Especially those who have experienced trauma, stress, or altered states can receive those signals. Not metaphorically, literally. You had the nightmare, but someone else downloaded it and now it's in them.
And here's a twist. Sometimes the dream skips you entirely. You create it, and someone else lives it. One person said,
My sister dreamt of a burnt figure crouched in a corner. She woke up sobbing. I never told her that I wrote that exact figure in a story draft the day before, down to the way it crouched.
So maybe imagination is contagious. Maybe nightmares are broadcast. And maybe your mind is an antenna.
I feel bad for whoever's like going through all of the stuff I've written. Because I literally have a story on like domestic abuse.
I feel like it would be me, right? It's not gonna go get downloaded to someone else.
Oopsie!
Like 2 years away. 2 years?
Oops. 2 years
Like
old.
really far away.
Okay, but coming up next, right? We're gonna explore how far it can go. Not just sharing a dream, but not just feeling the same fear, but creating a nightmare entity so strong it crosses into physical space.
Let's say you wake up and you are dreaming of fire, of burning, of something holding you down. You sit up, sweating, and your skin, it's red. No flame, no heater, no sunburn. But there it is. A rash, a welt, a mark from nowhere.
Welcome to the psychic imprint phenomenon. A feminine phenomenon. So it's the idea that strong emotional energy, particularly fear, can manifest physically. And not just while awake, but from dreams. So let's talk about the cases.
There's a story of a woman who dreamt she was bitten on the shoulder by a black dog. She woke up and found a bite mark. No pet, no partner, and the skin was broken. Doctor said stress reaction, but the pattern matched an actual jaw with canines.
You said black dog and I thought of Sirius Black.
Of course you did.
Or no, no, this is another story. Right? The man who dreamt a shadow hand reached into his chest. He woke up gasping, went to the ER for chest pain. Scans showed no issue, but his skin had 5 thin scratches across his ribs, not one singular rib, but all of them. But what was strange about this is that he lived alone, no sharp nails, no pets, no sharp objects near the bed, just fear and physical evidence.
In parapsychology, this is sometimes called reverberative imprinting. The idea that extreme psychic energy echoes out from the mind and alters matter. It's rare, it's barely understood, but it's been reported for centuries.
And we also see it in hauntings, where locations absorb dramatic events, where a murder scene leaves a loop of terror that repeats for decades. What if that can happen in your bedroom, right? What if you are the haunted place and your dream leaves residue?
We're talking about burns, bruises, crushed pillows, handprints, and in some cases, actual movement. People waking up to furniture knocked over, blinds twisted, objects on the floor that were on a shelf the night before, and no one else was there.
Okay, see, this kind of reminds me. Okay, so skeptics basically scream sleepwalking, right? And yeah, sometimes that's true. But when the pattern burnt into your shoulder matches the exact sigil you saw carved into your wall during your nightmare, it's hard to say it was just you. And also, this reminds me, do you remember when I sleepwalked out of the room in the old house? I sleepwalked out of the room
Yeah.
and then I was just standing like near our door. But like I was in like the lobby. I think
Yeah.
you can like near the door.
Yeah.
And then where I was just literally talking to no one. And I was just like, what was I saying? Was the work done?
No, you were saying that you were explaining to the people in the hall how to do the work. Yeah.
I don't think we've talked about this on the podcast before, but I do sleepwalk and sleep talk.
You used to, not right now.
Not
Not
currently.
anymore.
Yeah.
At least like for about 6, 7 months.
Yeah. I same with the sleep talking, or have I sleep talked recently?
No, sleep talk you keep doing.
Yeah, okay. So I'm an avid sleep talker and I sleepwalk sometimes, but not in the recent months.
Yeah.
But the last time I sleepwalked, I walk apparently. This is all. Do you want to tell it? I think you're.
I think we ought to explain the whole thing. Nothing. You just start walking, and then I asked you where you're going. You said you're going to tell the people who are working in the hall that what exactly has to be done.
So, like, was there actually people there?
Obviously not.
So, who was I gonna tell?
I have no idea.
Tulpas, guys.
Anyway, moving on. And here's where it gets darker, right? Some people report dreaming of damage before it happens, like a psychic pre-quake. And one woman dreamed that her mirror cracked, a specific corner to corner shatter, and the next morning that exact pattern appeared. No tremors, no impact, just fracture.
Another dreamed her window was open and someone was inside. She bolted awake and her locked window was wide open. No signs of entry, nothing missing, but the air was cold and something was off.
So if fear creates and nightmare compress psychic energy into focused intention, then maybe a dream is more dangerous than a thought. Because when you're asleep, you're unguarded. Your subconscious is broadcasting at full volume, and if something answers, it might not leave empty-handed.
So next up, we're gonna talk about what if it doesn't leave at all. So what if the nightmare doesn't end when you wake up? It follows you and starts living in your house?
My God. So let's say you wake up, you shake it off. The
Taylor
nightmare,
Swift reference?
was terrifying, yes, but it's over. Except it's not. You start to feel it during the day. You hear it, you sense it, you see it. Not in dreams, but in real life.
So welcome to the bleedthrough, as it's called. It's the phenomenon where the nightmare doesn't stay in the mind, it leaks out. It begins to haunt your house, not metaphorically, but like actually.
You see shadows where there should be light. Corners feel too heavy. Your room, it kind of bends wrong, like the geometry has warped, just slightly.
Like,
Like you're still in the dream.
like people report sounds they heard in dreams just repeating while awake. The knock at the door, the creaking footstep behind them, the laugh, always right at the edge of silence, and it's always the same, as if the dream is stuck on a loop.
One man actually described dreaming of a voice whispering numbers. He woke up at 3:33 a.m. The next day, his microwave glitched and displayed 3:33 repeatedly, even after being unplugged. When he smashed it, his phone alarm went off at 3:33. He hadn't set it.
The witching hour.
Yeah.
3:33 is literally the wishing hour. And this isn't hallucination, but rather pattern intrusion. As if your subconscious pushed something into the external world. As if, like, the nightmare script was accidentally written into reality.
There are hundreds of reports of recurring dream entities showing up in waking hallucinations, standing at the end of the bed, leaning in the hallway, just out of focus. And here's the kicker, other people in the house see it too. Someone said,
That I kept dreaming about the torch figure with no eyes. Then my girlfriend saw someone standing in a hallway one night. She said he didn't have eyes.
That's cross boundary manifestation. The dream entry becomes spatial. It no longer needs to dream because it found a way in. And once it's in, it just stays.
people describe door slamming at the same time every night, matching the exact moment they woke up during a nightmare. Lights flickering in rhythm to dream sounds, even mirror distortions that only appear at the time the dream started. It's as if the time loop between the two, it's as if time loops between the two states. Like the dream is tethered to reality but by an invisible thread and it's pulling.
Some even describe feeling watched just constantly. But that's only after dreaming of a specific entity, never before. But once they see it, the sensation just never leaves them.
And it doesn't matter if they move. One woman changed apartments, changed cities, and the same figure appeared again. She said,
I didn't bring it, it was already there. Like the dream just followed me to the next house.
So, what are we saying here, right? That your dreams are real? That you made a being and now it lives with you? Yeah, that's what you're kind of saying. We're saying that maybe you did, and hell, maybe you're not the only one. Now, not in the pregnant sense, as in you didn't give birth to it, but you kind of did, because you had a dream. So technically, oh my god, are all of these people pregnant?
oh my god.
Because they brought someone into reality?
We're not even gonna go there.
That's crazy.
Coming up next, we look at the scariest idea of all. What if these nightmare beings aren't just dreams? What if they're using dreams to find their way in? So far, we've asked what happens if your fear creates monsters, if trauma sculpts shadows, if you birth something terrible in your sleep. But what if you're not the architect? What if you're the door?
This is the invasion theory. The idea that nightmares aren't just internal, that external contact points, that something on the outside uses your mind as an entry point, not symbolic but functional.
And here's the framework. When you dream, your consciousness detaches from its usual sensory field. Your body is asleep, your senses are offline, and your mind is untethered. That state might not just be a biological quirk, it might be an opening, a broadcast window, a beacon.
Think of it like this, right? If you were an entity trying to enter a closed system, you wouldn't force your way in, right? You'd wait for a door to open. A door like REM sleep, where the firewall is low, the mind is receptive, and consciousness is somewhere else.
Now, what if there's something else on the other side? Not a dream, not a hallucination, but a presence. Just waiting for one weak signal. And once you let it in, even for a second, it remembers you.
So let's talk about parasomnias that have no clear neurological cause, right? People who wake up screaming without memory of the dream, people who sleepwalk into dangerous places, like it right into knives, windows, and roads. Or people who speak languages they never knew in their sleeps, right? What if those aren't just brain malfunctions? What if those are moments of what?
Cohabitations.
Cohabitation, right? When you're not the only one in your body because you have a child inside.
Oh my god. Because we've heard stories, not just of shadow people, but of entire personalities that emerge after nightmares. Sudden changes in demeanor, in taste, in voice. People who dream of a being and wake up a little less like themselves.
So that's not possession, right? That's drift. It's like you brought something back with you, like a shard of something that didn't belong here, but now it's anchored.
And here's the theory. We're not supposed to dream alone. There are entities that only exist between states. They don't have bodies. They don't want yours. They just want access. They inhabit your dreams for seconds, long enough to taste, to learn, to seed themselves.
This is like really toxic. Is it just me who feels this really toxic?
No.
They're just using you.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Sadly, a lot of people relate to that.
yeah. sad. But they don't appear fully formed. They just start as feelings of dread, anxiety, and paranoia until they embed themselves in your instincts, until you don't know what's yours anymore, until fear itself has become a voice.
And what do they want? Maybe nothing. Maybe just resonance. Maybe you're a tuning fork for something ancient and unshaped that once formed. And your fear is the mold.
So, coming up next, the final phase. Not what happens if they enter, but what happens if they wake up inside you when the entity just becomes you.
So let's take this to the worst case scenario. You've dreamt it, it followed you, it's entered. But here's the twist, it doesn't want to stay separate, it wants you. Not your life, not your name, just your shape.
What is going on? I don't like where this is going. But this is where the nightmare stops being a visitor and starts being an identity. This is literally identity. Like, this is literally identity. Identity.
Theft.
Theft, yes, that. Because people describe not being able to tell when they're awake or when they're asleep. It's not bleed-through, it's more like fusion. It's not just feeling like, you're not just feeling watched, you're watching yourself. Crazy. Because it's like hearing thoughts that don't sound like yours, and it's behaving in ways you don't recognize. And at first, you'd probably be like, oh my god, that's so weird. But then you'll be like, oh, I'm tired. And then you'll be like, who's that?
So we have read stories of people losing all fear of the nightmare, but not because they conquered it, because they kind of accepted it. Or rather, it accepted them and merged. Someone said that
I stopped running. I stopped screaming. It stood in front of me. I reached out and I woke up laughing, but it wasn't my laugh.
Okay, my dude, are you okay?
Oh, in the sense that they wake up a little different from themselves, so this laugh doesn't seem like theirs anymore.
Okay, and what? Are you okay, my dude? Do you need therapy?
Who doesn't?
Okay, that's so funny. Okay, but anyways, that's basically a psychic shift, right? Not insanity, not possession either, but it's transformation. A slow override of self by a dream-born entity you unknowingly built. And it's fear as a template, and you're basically the host.
So let's talk about lingering residue. People report saying phrases they never learned, waking up with names they've never heard, writing symbols, drawing faces, and not remembering doing it. When shown their drawings later, they say,
That's the thing from my dreams.
And they didn't draw it after the dream, they do it before, as if the nightmare got there first.
and now it gets personal because you've spoken to people who claim that they feel different since certain dreams. Cold, detached, less empathetic, more reactive, and they're not afraid. That's what scares them the most. They say, I don't feel scared anymore. I feel empty.
One man said,
I used to have panic attacks, but then I had the dream. It was stalled, pale, it didn't move, it just stared. I screamed at it, and something switched. Now I sleep fine. But people say I'm different, not as warm. My girlfriend says my eyes look distant. I'm not sure, I guess.
That's the hollowing. Not a haunting, not a nightmare, but an integration event. The fear no longer warns you because it has completed its function. You have become the thing you feared because that's how it survives.
I can see like the concern on your face.
Yeah, I mean, that's so sad. If you see a total change in a person.
Yeah.
Just the moment, just because they've had a nightmare.
Yeah.
That's damn.
That's like trauma. Like,
I know, right? Can you imagine you went to sleep knowing this
Yeah.
person a certain way,
yeah.
and the next morning you get up and it's a totally different person, and you're
Yeah.
like, this is not the person I
Right.
went to sleep with, right? It's a totally different
Yeah.
person. Like, what's going on? And you realize it's just because they had a nightmare. That's kind of like kill their soul.
Sort of.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that's why people say if there's ever a death, it's not the person who died that suffered the most, it's the people around them.
Yeah, obviously.
because they have to live
Exactly.
with it.
Yeah.
I guess that's sort of the
It's
thing.
easier for the person
Yeah.
who died.
Yeah, it is.
Because technically, like, they're done, right? I mean, none of us know anything about
Yeah.
afterlife, so maybe it's not easier for that person.
Yeah, but
Maybe it
for
is.
everything we know
But
now,
yeah, but surely it's the people who live behind who have to, I don't know,
grief.
like even going to the same places they've been to together
Yeah.
is bad, right?
Yeah.
Because you remember the person who's dead.
Yeah.
Or whether it's about just, I don't know, like there's just so many
Existing without
things.
them.
Yeah, so many things that just constantly keep reminding you about them.
Yeah. And here's the wildest theory of like all of them, right? What if all nightmares are just conversion processes? Not random, not symbolic, but a system running silently, dream by dream, fear by fear, until enough humans merge into their own shadows, and what emerges is not us.
Tonight, when you sleep, you won't remember all of this. You'll think it was just a podcast, just stories, just speculation, but your mind remembers differently.
Your dreams really could not care less about what you believe. They care they care what you feel. And if something's listening, it heard you. It always does.
The shadows in your dreams don't ask permission, they wait, they echo, and they build with every heartbeat of panic you offer them. Because if there's something behind the nightmares, then it already knows your name.
This was the end of season 1. But don't worry, we're not done dreaming.
So, just to kind of update you guys, we will return in September,
Yeah.
right, with season 2. And this time we go, I mean, in that season, we kind of go way back in time to real cases in history that were actually never solved. And then we unreal them, where we use modern science, new technologies, and just different crime solving ways
Yeah.
to kind of solve that murder.
So it's like the integration of technology into
An old case.
yeah.
Maybe like if we had the same case going on now, what
What would we
would
do
it be easy?
differently?
Maybe it would actually be solved and not remain
Maybe.
unsolved.
Yeah.
So just to like it's totally cases from the 1800s, and
Because we don't want to get targeted.
yeah, but basically, no. So it's 8 cases from the 1800s where we just know that these were unsolved cases. Either they were not looked into properly,
Yeah.
or there wasn't enough
Evidence, sort of.
evidence, or even just enough tools that
Yeah.
today the police have for them to kind of like be able to solve this case.
Yeah.
So we just look at, so the unsolved episode will obviously be a give full
Background
yeah,
of
on
the entire
everything that
case.
happened. And in the Unreal episodes we'll go into, maybe she and I solve it.
Hopefully.
Yeah, but we would like to say, though, it's not like we're claiming for anything.
No, I don't.
It's-
As in, it's more theorized what we think could have happened.
Yeah.
I'm really sad the Jack the Ripper case got solved before you could do this. I was really hoping to do
same.
it as even an episode of season 1.
Yeah. But then it was already solved by then. Remember, I even said
Yeah.
in one of the episodes, like, I hate the Jack the Ripper is solved.
Obviously, we're so glad that people,
Yeah.
the
that's true.
family of the
Yeah,
victims.
we don't mean it that way.
No, we're so happy that the family of the victims finally get that sense
some
of
form of
peace.
justice also.
Yeah, but like we kind of wanted to do it as an episode.
Yeah, so that way we don't have it. But
There are
very surprisingly,
yeah,
there are so many
like
of these
unsolved
cases,
cases.
yeah, that we feel like we could really just discuss about.
Give an insight into truly.
Yeah, that's true. And also, I think we would like to what we would like to say is that the first case that we're doing for that season is actually called the Mary Rogers case.
Yeah.
And the reason I'm telling you this is because we will like to use some of your either how it was solved,
Yeah.
or who you think did it, or what your thoughts are on this case. If you would like to share it with us, you could share it with us.
Yeah.
And we will actually put that into the episode when we're doing the episode. Um
Yeah, we would actually genuinely love to get your opinions and your theories.
yeah, because I mean, I'm sure maybe there are a few people who know this case well.
Yeah.
So if you have whether it's just a thought you had while you were reading about her or anything else, if you do have some theory or something maybe that you know that the police missed or something you knew would
Yes.
surely help, you could let us know and we will 100% like put into the episode
Yep.
in September. So September, we will put that out.
Yes, that is gonna be the start of season 2.
Yeah,
I
which we're
guess
very
it.
excited for.
Yeah,
I
it's
feel like
really genuinely. I've been like waiting to.
yeah, we were going crazy about it. But basically, so this season one was more like
General kind of.
exactly. So it was more for general and more just touching all
Like a
kind of points.
baseline sort
Yeah,
of.
exactly. To kind of also take to totally understand this whole unsolved unreal part
Yeah.
also. So that's why season two. Right now we're looking at really old unsolved
Yeah.
murder
So kind of like
cases.
unsolved true crime,
Exactly.
basically.
And season three, if we do have, will be based on totally different theme.
Yeah.
But that's kind of how we were looking at this to be.
Yeah. So the first one will touch on all kind of so season 1 touches on all kind of themes and stuff that's just really weird around the world.
Yeah.
Then season 2 is really old unsolved cases. Season 3 will focus again, if we have it. If we have a season 3, we'll focus on just another theme
Yeah.
in like particular.
Yeah, exactly. So it could be like a totally different theme, which will, but what everything would follow is this Unreal Unsolved
Yeah,
kind
I
of
think
first. Yeah,
that's
that
always
theme.
going to be there.
Yeah, it'll always have a episode where we're basically giving you all the details of something that's unsolved, and in Unreal, either we in season one we kind of went somewhere with it,
Yeah.
but in season two I think we're going to focus more on solving it,
Yes.
and well, season three and more. We don't
And
know.
obviously, if you've been through this entire journey of season 1 with us and you know we're crazy
We are.
and we never mean to offend people.
Oh, we generally don't.
We genuinely never mean to offend anyone, but like there are points where we joke about something, but that's just our way of, I guess, coping with stuff. Not coping.
Yeah, it's more like if for example we're laughing about something we're saying, we're not technically laughing at the person or at the thing.
Yeah.
It's more we're just laughing at where our head has gone with
Yeah.
something. So we're just like, oh my god, can you imagine this is what we're thinking when this is
Yeah,
what is happening?
we're more laughing at ourselves because
Yeah,
who the hell thinks of like a pregnant person when
exactly.
like a pregnant person when shadows are becoming actual real people.
Exactly. So I think this is important, especially to let you guys know for season two.
Yeah,
Because it's
we will
actual
address
like
this in
people.
season 2.
Yeah. So even if like in between this whole thing where we're giving you the rundown of the case,
Yeah,
we don't want you to think we're making fun of anyone.
we're making fun of ourselves for thinking
Yeah.
and being stupid personally.
And also I feel like because it's very heavy, especially the unsolved episodes will be very heavy.
Yeah,
So I think that's the way we ease the tension.
yeah,
By just creating some random jokes or by like just being stupid.
yeah.
And it's not anything to do with the person. It's more to do with us trying to ease
The
this
tension,
heavy topic
like,
up.
yeah,
Yeah. But having said that, we finished season one.
yeah. Season 1's complete.
We
Season 1's
finished
done.
the season, babe.
And you know, if you thought that the shadows in your room were bad, just wait until we open the archives.
So obviously, like we said, you'll hear from us again. But until then, sleep deep. And if something follows you home, please don't say its name. And for the last time this season, bye bye.
Bye-bye.